The Hule Fort Massacre shows why Western accounts of Polynesian history need careful scrutiny.
1937, and he was there at the time, and he wrote a massive criticism of what the Wesleyan missionaries were doing and how they were putting Tongan against Tongan. And he wrote how disgusting what they were doing in supporting and encouraging King George to do the most atrocious crimes and to murder his own people, all for the church. You know, there were times where he would say himself that I'm only doing this for protection of Christianity. You know, so, and what he was doing was completely massacring people. There was 300 people who got massacred in Hule, and that was simply because they did not accept Christianity. And Peter Dillon wrote this. He wrote, all for the crime of not embracing a religion that already created more bloodshed and more cruelty than any other event recorded in Tonga. So he was saying the crime that these people committed was that they did not accept Christianity. So they had to be slaughtered. Okay, and he slaughtered men, women, and children. And that's in Hule.
Let me just say that the author of that book that he's quoting, that's what they say the war in Hule was about. But the war in Hule was not about Christianity. It was because the newly installed chief, Tu'iwakano, who is the chief of Nuku Nuku, and Nuku Nuku has a traditional fort called Hule. The people of Nuku Nuku threw their chief out.
They rejected the traditional chief.
They rejected their traditional chief, and Tupou the First was he was protecting the chiefs and the hierarchy of Tongan tradition. I mean, and what the history books may not fully show is that there were actually some Christians inside the fort.
Oh, I didn't know that. There are actually Christians in the fort.
There were some. And this is the only time that Tupou the First used this, because this was the first time, because it's a major no-no in Tongan tradition. The difference about the installation of high chiefly titles, of high chief titles in Tonga and Samoa, what's different is the Ainga in Samoa have the final say on who the chief is going to be. But in Tonga, it's the king who has the final say.